Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here with Sam Harvey, who is the site manager here for Barratt Homes. We're on a big, prestigious project for you guys in Uttoxeter, Sam. And one of the things we were talking about earlier is why you've brought the SiteStak system onto your site here. And it was quite impactful when you were saying, look, Peter, when we look at the movements of people and things like that on site, it really makes sense. Tell me a little bit about the experience and why you've adopted the approach.
I think we kind of push it from a builder's point of view. For my main reasons for us is a health and safety factor. Obviously, if the guys are doing external drainage, internal drainage on a certain plot, they can have all the materials in one place at one time, rather than thinking, oh, we forgot like one bend, for example, and we've got to go over to the compound and walk and get it. Obviously, it stops all that access from people. It's like you've got it there, you've got all your materials in one place. You've also got your machine who can transport it around for you, or your forklift, so it's easily accessible for everyone, kind of thing.
And the biggest thing about you as a house builder is all about quality, isn't it? Because, you know, fundamentally drainage is a really important part of any house building project. And I think, you know, as you look at the way in which people are now cutting, using all the jig at the end there, we're getting it square and the boring's done. All of that means that you can get all of the connections right as well. And that's just fundamental to you, isn't it, as a builder?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, obviously we're striving for quality. Health and safety and quality are the two main aims for us, kind of thing. So it's good to have it all in one place. And like you said, you've got the voice on there as well, which obviously helps. And we know obviously it's all numbered. It helps obviously for them, the guys obviously as well, who ordering processes. They can kind of see what they've got on site at one time, and it can just keep being refilled as and when needed, kind of thing. So yeah, no, it's really good to have.
So we really are leading from the top down here with Barratt Homes. You know, they've recognised the ability for this to change outcomes on site, and also you work very, very close with the contractors as well. Yeah, and so it allows you to order sort of almost just in time as well when you've got to the site and stack the stack up every night.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. It saves materials lying around. I mean, drainage, especially at the minute, isn't cheap. It's expensive materials, so instead of it all just being piled up in compounds, it's in a proper storage place, and it can kind of be seen what's here at each time. So you know, like you've already said, you know when to recall things off because you can see it emptying out. So yeah, it's a really good thing to have for quality, for price, for materials, for health and safety, for kind of a bit of everything really.
We're on a big project here for one of your prestigious clients, Ricky, and one of the things that you've worked with that client on, and it's Barratt Homes, is actually bringing in the new SiteStak system on site. You know, they're very interested in how we can improve outcomes and health and safety and things like that. And obviously you're delivering this huge big development near Uttoxeter. You've been using this now for a little while. Tell me a little bit about the impression that it's given on the site, but also how it's helped you sort of improve and get productivity up, because they're selling like hotcakes here, aren't they, the site?
Yeah, for us personally, we ain't got operatives walking back and forth, which for safety reasons is the obvious. We haven't got operatives walking around using steel saws for cuts. We're using saws.
And also, you know, we're looking at the way in which people actually work. So instead of bringing materials to a plot and dumping them on the ground, you're bringing this whole stack here, aren't you, using your forklifts and telehandlers?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest one for the client, is the presentation, because as you can see, a lot of sites, everything's chucked on a pad, where now everything's sat nice and neat, ready to go when we need it. So yeah, perfect.
And so the other thing is with this, folks, is the fact that when you've got materials lying around, you can have an opportunity for people to unfortunately have a trip or slip, or even you know, for this drainage pipe, which is becoming more and more expensive products wise, to actually get damaged.
Yeah, because I think if you look at it, if you're working on a private property, and it's your house, and you turned up and all the materials you bought are just tossed all over the place, you wouldn't accept it, would you? So on a site, they shouldn't accept it. And with something like this, you know, we've got this in front of us. We can give them now what they want, and it works good for us, because let's face it, keep going up and back and down there all day with one piece of pipe. You could lose a man all day doing that, couldn't you?
Absolutely. So, you know, what's really interesting about how I've been watching the operatives work here today, you've been able to move this around. We've been able to stack a whole heap of pipes in the back there, because this is the extendable version.
Yeah.
So that actually helps as well. One stack in the morning, filling everything up. And then you've literally non-stop, aren't you, on site here? It's crazy.
It's where it needs to be. It can get moved like that. Where I think in the past, I don't know if you've seen them, people used to try and make them with timber.
Right.
They'd make like a timber version of it. And within 2-3 months, you can imagine it's up and it's gone. So now, for us, it's perfect.
And what we're going to do is do a little bit of a test here on the SiteStak, and we've got Michael Wright. Mike, you're a professional when it comes to the drainage systems here, and you're the person and the team member that uses this quite often, aren't you?
Yes, I am, Mike, yes.
So tell me a little bit about the difference, what you used to do before when you actually had to do this drainage and to actually cut the pipe we see here.
As you may realise, if we're in a hole, we'd be cutting on the side of the bank. If we were doing internals, we'd be cutting on the cavity on the floor using a block. So just to raise the pipe and cut it. So it'd be a lot more difficult than what this is. This is fantastic, this thing.
So I've really challenged you here today to help with the cutting procedure, but I'm doing the most important thing, folks. I'm putting the clamp in place. So, you know, I've worked really, really hard to master that. Sits on the side of this particular unit. This is set up. Now, this length that is actually from end to end here, that's actually the perfect size for when you're cutting this section, isn't it?
Yeah, for a rocker pipe, yeah. So we'd have rockers, one in the house, one going through the house, and then another one going outside. So you'd have 3 rockers and all. So you can imagine if we've got 4 or 5 outlets, you're going to need 3 rockers for every outlet.
Right, and that ends up being a lot of work. Yeah. So I'm going to stand back and let you do the hard work. So I'll come out of the way and just see how easy this can be done, folks. Fantastic, isn't it? It's great to see that. So quick, so smooth there, isn't it, on the edges? And also, you're in an upright position.
Yep.
You know, from your perspective, doing a lot of those, if you're bending down, all the rest of it, it's going to end up hurting you at the end of the day, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. So all I'd have to do now is chamfer that using the chamfer drill.
Yep.
So I could do that for you now if you like.
Let's do that, let's do that, yep.
So as you can see now, that has got a lovely chamfer on that now.
Oh yeah, and so there's no rough sections, there's nothing on there. So that's then going to sit inside, obviously, one of these joints, and it's just so important, isn't it, that you get that seal right.
Yeah, because obviously if you haven't got the correct chamfer, you're going to pinch the rubbers, which will make the seal not seal.
Yeah,
if you like.
Exactly, yeah.
So if I just grease that up now, push on there.
Yep.
Oh, that's it.
What's interesting about this version is it's the extended version, which has got the full pipe stack at the back there, because you're a big project here, haven't you? So things are moving very quickly. You can drop a whole stack into there, and therefore you don't even have to do any manual handling, do you?
No, that's what it is. It's no manual handling. It's all machine worked, and it's literally right on top of your work area, which is a bonus for everyone, really, isn't it? So it saves time as well, saves time from people going back and forth all the time, machine movements, forklift movements. So for me, the biggest factor is the health and safety side of it. So.
Absolutely right, Sam, and that's why I've come here today. The main reason is safety on site, innovations like this that are simple and straightforward, and yet, you know, very thoughtful about the process of looking after the whole drainage element. Sam, it's great to talk to you today. I'm going to let you go because you've got a lot of houses to build, haven't you, mate?
We have indeed, Good to meet you too.
Cheers.
Cheers.